Welcome to another monthly portfolio update. If you are stopping by for the first time, please do me a favor, subscribe to the channel and hit the like button. In this video, I will share with you how much I invested in my taxable account in March, how many shares I bought, and the value of my portfolio at the end of March. But as always, before I continue, a quick disclaimer. The information that I'm sharing is not financial advice. Before you invest in anything, please do your own research and make sure that you only invest in things that you understand. With that being said, I will dive right into my portfolio update. I will start with a quick recap of my February portfolio to show you the value of the portfolio and how many shares I had before the beginning of March. The total value of my portfolio at the end of February was $61,512.28. $61,490.08 was the market value of my investments, and $21.48 was a cash amount. At the end of February, my portfolio was up $11,456.19. This was a plus 22.90%. You can see here my holdings, 2 Vanguard ETFs and 2 BlackRock ETFs. VCN is a Vanguard ETF that tracks the Canadian market. I had 92 shares of VCN at the end of February. VFV is a Vanguard S&P 500 Index ETF. This is the Canadian version of VOO. I had 262 shares of VFV at the end of February. XEQT is a BlackRock ETF. This is an all-in-one equity ETF which holds Canadian equities, US equities, developed market equities outside of North America, and emerging market equities. I had 442 shares of XEQT at the end of February. XUU is a BlackRock ETF that tracks the US total stock market, and I had 240 shares of XUU at the end of February. I will now show you how much I invested in March and how many shares I bought. I bought 2 shares of VCN. The cost per share was $44.69. The total cost, $89.38. This was 18% of the amount that I invested in March. I bought 2 shares of VFV. The cost per share was $126.18. The total cost, $252.36. This was 50% of the amount that I invested in March. I bought 2 shares of XEQT. The cost per share was $29.91. The total cost, $59.82. This was 12% of the amount that I invested in March. I bought 2 shares of XUU. The cost per share was $52.73. The total cost, $105.45. And this was 21% of the amount that I invested in March. In total, I bought 8 shares, all the ETFs combined. And the total amount that I invested was $507.01. This was $30.12 less than the amount that I invested in February. As you can see here, in February, I invested $537.13, and in March, $507.01. The difference is minus $30.12. The total equity of my portfolio at the end of March was $63,750.67. $63,706.10 was the market value of my investments, and $44.57 was the cash amount. At the end of March, my portfolio was up of $13,164.48. This was plus 26.05%. As of March 31st, I had 94 shares of VCN, 264 shares of VFV, 444 shares of XEQT, and 242 shares of XUU. All right, let's now take a look at some quick details about each of the positions. I will start with VCN. The closing market price on March 31st was $45.11. The quantity of shares that I had, 94. The average price, $40.61. The book value, which is how much I have invested in VCN, was $3,817.92. The market value was $4,240.34. This was 6.64% of my portfolio. VCN was up $422.42, or 11.06%. Next, we have VFV. The closing market price on March 31st was $126.13. The quantity of shares that I had, 264. The average price, $96.86. The book value was $25,573.42. The market value was $33,292.32. This was 52.17% of my portfolio. VFV was up $7,724.90, or 30.21%. Then we have XEQT. The closing market price on March 31st was $30.19. The quantity of shares that I had, 444. The average price, $25.26. The book value was $11,218.56. The market value was $13,404.36. This was 21% of my portfolio. X equity was up $2,185.80, or 19.48%. Finally, we have XUU. The closing market price on March 31st was $52.74. The quantity of shares that I had, 242. The average price was $41.04. The book value was $9,931.72. The market value was $12,763.08. This was 20% of my portfolio. XUU was up $2,831.36, or 28.51%. Like the past few months, the stock market was up in March too, still driven by the big tech companies and an expectation from investors that interest rates will start coming down sometime this year. My portfolio went from 22.90% at the beginning of March to 26.05% at the end of March. This is an increase of 3.15%, and I only invested $507 in March. The S&P 500 was up 3.10% in March, and this was in line with the return of my portfolio, which was plus 3.15%. The stock market was at an all-time high in March. As a result, I bought fewer shares. This is basically what happens when you dollar cost average. For example, if you invest $500 every month, you'll buy more shares when the market is down and less shares when the market is up. The key point is to keep investing every month, whether the market is up or down. Keep doing it consistently and focus on the long term. Also, avoid attempting to time the market. As they say in the long term, time in the market beats time in the market. All right, feel free to leave a comment below. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel. Thank you for watching. I will see you next time with another update. Peace out.